Hello students. Today we are going to talk about Francis Bacon's essays prescribed in our syllabi. Four essays of Francis Bacon have been incorporated in our syllabi, namely of revenge, of parents and children, of marriage and single life, and of studies. In this lecture, we are going to talk about two essays of Francis Bacon titled Of Revenge and Of Parents and Children. First of all, we will talk about the biographical sketch of Francis Bacon, his literary contribution to English literature in the form of essays, and his characteristic features of essays. Francis Bacon was born on January 22, 1561, and he was died in April 9, 1626. He was a well-known English writer, statesman, scientist, philosopher, and a well-known essayist in the Elizabethan period. Francis Bacon is known as one of the towering personality of the English Renaissance era. He is known he is known for his empirical and scientific temperament of the subject matter. Therefore, Francis Bacon is known as the father of English essay. He has given a noteworthy contribution to English literature in the form of writing essays. His celebrated scholarly work titled Novum Organum attempts a discussion on the true directions concerning the interpretation of nature. He has also published different volumes of essays in 1597 and 1625. Bacon was the most respected, honored, revered, and yet despised figures from his contemporaries of his times. Alexander Pope, a well-known poet and a satirist, refers to Francis Bacon as the wisest, brightest, meanest of mankind. This comment of Alexander Pope indicates that how Francis Bacon was a renowned figure in the age of Renaissance. Sir Francis Bacon is better known for his peculiar style of essay writing. His fame and name rests on his essays. He is a trade setter in English essays as far as the form and content of essay writing is concerned. Bacon's essays are known for a specific style called the aphoristic style, a specific style that he has introduced in English essay, which means an original phrase using as few words as possible to convey some principle or concept of thought. Bacon's essays are the best and the most apt examples of this aphoristic style which he has introduced in English literature. His essays are very short but contains a lot of meaning and lot of essence. There are profound thoughts that has been incorporated in the essays of Francis Bacon. They truly justify the dictum brevity is the soul of wit. Apart from the peculiar aphoristic style, Francis Bacon handles various themes in his essays, right from the day-to-day, common, ordinary, domestic issues to the wise counsel to king and princess. The essays of Francis Bacon are full of wise counsel humor, irony, paradox, and antithesis. The essays, which is a collection of Francis Bacon's essays, were first published in 1597, and then he has released a second expanded version of essays in 1625. The essays which is prescribed in our syllabi are taken from the second version of his collection titled Essays, published in 1625. Now we will switch over to the discussion of Francis Bacon's essay titled Of Revenge, prescribed in our syllabi. The essay titled Of Revenge opens with a catchy and aphoristic statement. And this is a peculiar style of writing essays of Francis Bacon. The opening sentence of the essay, revenge is a kind of wild justice, quote unquote, revenge is a kind of wild justice, denotes Bacon's art of using paradox, antithesis, humor, and irony. Bacon says that revenge can be an act of justice. He proves his argument by giving different examples. At the same time, Bacon states that revenge is a wild, barbarous act of the uncivilized times. And in the civilized times, revenge is a kind of justice. Francis Bacon lived in the age of Renaissance, which is known as a time of learning and of civilized society bounded by the rule of law. In the age of Renaissance, the learned counsels, the learned people applies the rule of law. In the eyes of law, an unlawful act, rascal act, barbarous act committed to seek justice was itself a crime, and crime has to be punished. This is the common feature in those days. Crime would be punished as per the prevalent legal procedure. Hence, in a civil society in which Bacon was born and brought up, law must forbid its citizens from seeking justice on their own. The act of revenge puts a person taking revenge on the same scale as that of the offender. Francis Bacon quotes Solomon that it is human to take revenge, but it is a divine act to forgive the wrongdoer, to forgive the person who commits mistake, and this is the divine act. What is more important, according to Bacon, is to forgive the wrongdoer instead of giving him a punishment. In support of his argument, Bacon puts forth a very practical example. He argues that life is very short. Human life is very short, and there are many worthy things a human being has to do in his short life. So, what is done cannot be done. What kind of mischievous act, wrongdoings that have been done by a person cannot be repeated. And since we can never bring the past back in time, Bacon says it is wise to act in the present. Moreover, nobody acts with bad intentions for doing harm to others. This is not the intention of any man. He or she acts for his or her own benefit and not for the benefit of others. If someone acts with essentially a bad intention, then one can do nothing as he or she is like a thorn that pricks in keeping with its nature. And this is his nature, what Bacon says. Bacon comes to the point of the nature of revenge and he explains the various kinds of revenge. Bacon makes a distinction between two kinds of revenge. One, a crime that is punishable by the rule of law, and number two, crime for which there is no law to punish the offender. In a situation, Bacon says, where there is no law to punish the offender, the revenge is justified. But if there is a law to punish the offender, revenge cannot be justified. In this case, the noble act of revenge is that when the one who takes revenge makes it known to the enemy and the enemy repents on the wrongdoings that he commits, that is what Bacon says is a true revenge. This is an open and fair act of seeking justice. In this kind of revenge, Bacon argues, the intention of the person who takes revenge is less to punish the wrongdoer and more to make him repent for his mischievous or the barbarous act or the evil act. Bacon condemns that act of revenge which is not taken openly. It is like shooting somebody while hiding one's identity, and this revenge cannot be justified according to Bacon. Francis Bacon emphasizes more on forgiveness rather than taking revenge. If someone commits mistake, it is the duty of the other person to bring this mistake into his mind and making such kind of awareness of his fault, of his mistake, is a true habit of a human being. Bacon considers forgiving an enemy as a noble act, and human being has to do this act. He argues that one should forgive not only the enemy but also one's friend who have turned unfaithful. And there are many human beings who turn unfaithful. Bacon states that one has to forgive such kind of friend who turned unfaithful. In support of his argument, Bacon points out that one who keeps alive the thought of revenge is keeping one's wounds open and thus not allowing it to heal as it would have in due time. Bacon concludes the essay with a comment on public and private revenge. Bacon cites examples from ancient and contemporary European history and shows how public revenge was taken not for personal benefit but for the benefit of society at large. On the contrary, private revenge has been taken for the benefit of the one who takes revenge. Bacon states that public revenge is superior than private revenge because there is a benefit of society at large. Bacon considers a person who takes revenge for personal benefit is a person as which as he too will meet the same fate in his life. In a nutshell, Francis Bacon's essay of revenge, though it is very short, but there are profound knowledge, there are profound thought expressed by Bacon on the point of revenge. And his opening argument that revenge is a wild justice that has been proved by giving many examples in the essay. This is what about his first essay prescribed in a syllabi, that is of revenge. Now we will switch over to the discussion of the second essay prescribed in our syllabi titled of parents and children. In this thoughtful essay of parents and children, Bacon deals with a very important issue related to parents and children, which is very common affair to every household. Like a modern course book on parenting, Bacon observes various issues in raising and nurturing children and also offers useful suggestions for effective parenting of the children. Bacon begins the essay on a very softer note, on a very mild note, on the joys and fears of parents about their children. Parents generally do not openly express joys or sorrows for their children. The success of their children achieve gives satisfaction to their parents. And when the children fails in their duty, the parents becomes sorrowful. That is what Bacon says. But Bacon says the failures or the wrongdoings on the part of the children make their parents extremely sad and unhappy. The preservation and the continuation of the race are common to the beast and human beings alike. Bacon says that human beings have greater purposes to achieve in life than merely giving birth to children. And every parent expects good things on the part of their children. Parents work hard day and night for the sake of their children. They want to make the future of the children very bright. They raise property, riches, or homes for the children. But those who are childless, says Bacon, compensate for the lack of biological diversity by creating monumental works that the world is benefited by and will thus be remembered forever. Francis Bacon further discusses about the proper treatment that parents should give to the children. He discourages the parents from giving unequal treatment to their children and making comparison between sister and brother. The parent, Bacon says, should not discriminate among their children. For the parents, all children are equal, all children are same. They should treat all children with equality. Otherwise, a kind of inferiority or a superiority complex occurs in the mind of the children. For the goodness of a son, the father is honored, but for the wrongdoings of a son, a mother is held responsible. And this is very much wrong according to Bacon. Usually, in a house full of children, the elders are treated with respect and the younger ones get pampered to the extent that they get spoiled. Bacon says that parents should take care of every child, though he or she may be a younger or a elder, while the middle ones often remain unnoticed. Many a times, these middle ones perform better than the rest. Hence, Bacon again argues that all children are equal in the eyes of the parents, and hence the parents should treat all children equally. On the matter of discipline, Bacon advises parents not to give their children undue freedom, which will spoil their future life. He warns them that the excessive sort of freedom given to the children will spoil their career and ruin their future life. They should not give easy access to the children in terms of money. Money is a very valuable thing. And if excess of freedom given to the children for expanding the money, the children may spend more than what is expected of them. And this will be a kind of habit which will inculcate in their personality, and this is not good, this is not fair for the future career of the children, according to Bacon. Bacon also advises the parents against making a comparison among brothers, as it may result in future rivalry, future competition, a future enmity among them. This shows how keen an observer Bacon was in relation to the children. He noticed a very common domestic concerns that may become very troublesome, uh, and the parents have not taken care of. In the concluding part of the essay, Francis Bacon discusses a very important point, that of the concerns of parents about the future course of their children. Generally, parents compels the children to do this or to do that. Actually, many of the parents decides the future goal, the future objective of their children as their own, and they compel this goal or this objective on their children. Parents, according to Bacon, are excessively concerned about the occupations and well-being of their children without considering their interest in specific occupation. They plan a particular profession or career for their children well in advance without taking into consideration of their interest. Bacon advises the parents not to insist on and force the profession or career of their choice on their children, because to choose the profession or career is solely the choice of the children, and this freedom has to be given to the children, and this is not the freedom of the parents. He asks parents to remain flexible enough and allow their children to take up the careers of their choice and liking. Then and then only the children will make their future bright, because they are keenly interested in the activities that they have decided. Other extremely wise counsel that Bacon gives to the parents is that they need not interfere with the course of their children who are mindful of their work and behavior. Let the choice be given to the children, and let the work be uh, taken on the part of the children. But one should always take care that their children are taking and pursuing their right path, for it is always better to get up and get the work done on time. Bacon points out that the younger children are generally fortunate in terms of love, stability, and wealth. But if the elder children are disinherited by the parents from wealth and privileges, then the younger ones might not be able to enjoy the inheritance, as there may be rivalry, enmity, or a family feud that may destroy happiness in the lives of the parents as well as their children. In short, the essay titled Of Parents and Children beautifully discusses what to do to their children on the part of the parents. Children is one of the important gifts given by the God to the parents, and hence the parents should take care of their upbringing, of their future at a large extent. So this is what about Francis Bacon's essay of parents and children. In this lecture, we have discussed two essays of revenge and of parents and children. In the next lecture, we are going to talk about the two essays which is prescribed in our syllabi by Francis Bacon, namely of marriage and single life and of studies.